Welcome to the Romania River channel and my belated first impressions of Ancient Relics, a Stellaris DLC, which is more or less basically introducing the whole archaeology sub-feature, which more or less has your scientists poking around dead cities or other interesting phenomena that nobody can really explain without poking them vigorously, with the vague hope that you get either information, something useful, or God's willing, something really powerful. Because make no mistake, there are archaeological sites which can yield rather interesting things. Like, for example, if I'm not mistaken, one archaeological site can yield a titan, and you can actually find that site within your first 30-40 years of the game, thereabouts. One thing worth mentioning though, the archaeology sites themselves, you discover via exploration obviously, and they pop up usually when the system is first scanned, or you get information about the scan of the system by an ally, and it'll pop up then. The AI does make use of these sites as well, but I've not actually seen them making use of mainline massive archaeological finds. Like, for example, I've not seen them pop that one ethereal dragon thing. Can't remember, it was an ether drake or ethereal dragon. Can't remember if that one was from World of Warcraft and one was from Stellaris. Whichever, basically you can accidentally spawn one of those guys if you're not careful. I'm not gonna spoil and say which one, because yeah, that's gonna be your own guys' fun, so to say. And there's also one relic that gives you basically the ability on cooldown and quite a bit of cost, if I'm not mistaken, in influence I think, to basically summon a small group of precursor or progenitor, or however you want to call them, basically the empires which are in degradation, the ones with extremely powerful ships, but unless they awaken they don't pose any real threat. Yeah, you can get about, on average, usually 4 escorts, and if there are Holy Guardians around, if I'm not mistaken, you can get 5 escorts in a battle cruiser, if I'm not mistaken. It could be 4 escorts in one battle cruiser and 5 escorts otherwise, whichever. In any case, pretty impressive stuff if you manage to get that lucky. And remember, the AI does run around and steal stuff, so you have to be quite vigorous in your territorial pursuits. Because, just as an aside, and something I found pretty much detracted from the whole idea of archaeology, is the lack of the ability to actually explore sites outside of your own territory. I can kind of get maybe the idea that it's outside your territory and you need to haul whatever find you found. Yeah, Romanian, Rome-English. Whatever you found in that particular site back to your capital or territory, let's say. But no, unless you have a territorial claim on the system, you cannot exploit the site. Kind of hope they change that in the future, because to be honest, it doesn't really feel like Indiana Jones this way. It just feels like, yeah, we're the British Empire, may as well freaking poke that thing. Otherwise, in terms of overall gameplay impact, as I said, there are some rare ones which do give you a pretty impressive edge. And gods know, if you pop that Titan or the one with the progenitor ships, especially in multiplayer, the other guys are not gonna love you at all. You might even rage quit for that one. But otherwise, it's basically technology, resources, or even research in terms of research points. They've been rebalancing them since launch, because yeah, there have been a couple of patches since the DLC has launched, but overall the general gist of it is more or less this DLC, major as it is, will have a fairly minimal overall impact on your gameplay, but in terms of lore there's a lot of stuff in there, and there are quite some amusing or interesting ones, to be honest. One or two even actually kind of impressed me in terms of writing. Which one I'm thinking of right now? I'm gonna mention the relic you get from one, and you guys will discover the story behind it. The Memorex. Now that one had an interesting backstory to it. Otherwise, oh yeah, and there was one with a crashed ship. That one's kind of amusing as all hell at the end. But otherwise, not much in terms of gameplay. So if you're looking for something like, for example, the DLCs that put in the Awakened Empires, you know, the Holy Wars, or War in Heavens more precisely, or the Artificials or so on, yeah, this isn't that much of a DLC. But if you're looking for lore and stuff like that, definitely worth the price of admission, especially if you like reading. But in any case, yeah, pretty much get it if you're a lore hound or you like adding depth to your game. And I suspect some things will be interesting, especially I'm thinking with that Praetorian Broodmother. But for pure gameplay, it's worth it, but on a sale or bundle. Otherwise, it's not gonna be your kettle of fish if it's directly for gameplay reasons you wanna get it. Thank you for watching, or more precisely surviving up until this point, because gods know the editing's kinda interesting and my voice has a melodic tone to it. If you like what you saw, feel free to hit the subscribe button, like button. It does help out the statistics of the channel, gets more visible, you know, stuff like that. And to be honest, at one point I would like to actually make this a job so I can do better content with better quality, more games, more coverage, you know, stuff like that. Take care.